and by law, I will also be the chairman of the caucus.
Say that again? You broke up.
What?
Yeah. Don't touch this because you cut off.
Just let him off and do it.
Everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
Okay, we're going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance. We use that flag there. Ed, would you charge the pledge, please? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
I asked everybody keep their masks on as per the governor's executive order. The only exception I would make for the speaker coming up to the microphone so everybody can hear him clearly. Okay? That would only be myself and then the candidates. So we have a couple nominations to make. And I would like to nominate...
Point of order. Darren Deskin. I'm a Lockport Township resident. I am qualified to vote. I just want to make it clear that the chairman's wife is one of the candidates for supervisor. It is a clear violation of what we have here is it's a conflict of interest. So I'm asking you to go ahead and recuse yourself as chairman and have the caucus go ahead.
What law are you citing?
No.
Law of ethics. Law of ethics.
What?
Law of ethics.
Whose ethics? Yeah.
Who's?
Mine.
Yours too?
Yeah.
Okay.
My ethics, I wouldn't be the chairperson if I like this right for.
May I suggest that we try to keep some decorum and order to this? And I just came back from the clerk's office just a couple of hours ago, and I talked about that, and there is no such rule on the matter. If you're talking about ethics, that's very subjective, and I suggest that you be a little more polite for all the other people that are here, please. Can we carry on?
This is going to be a long meeting. There's nothing illegal about it. And if you want to bring up ethics and moralities, I can bring up on your team. All right, you have a brother and sister running for the same slate, okay? According to the Township of Illinois, that is not illegal, but they consider it unethical and immoral. I'm not going to bring that point up until you brought that up, Darren, okay? Is there any other thing you want to complain about?
I made my point.
You made your point. Thank you. All right, so let's bring this up again. I am the chairman. My wife, Barbara Delaney, is running on the slate. Does anybody have a problem with that? And do they see that as a conflict of interest? Yes.
Can I suggest that you can remain chairman if the group here can have 2 judges elected?
Well, we're going to have one election judge, and then your slate is allowed to have a poll watcher, okay? So they can count the votes.
That's not what I said. Two judges to oversee the caucus.
We could do that. Do you have a nominee for election judge?
I nominate you. 2. I nominate Dave Palia and Rich Davis.
Dave Palia is involved in a lawsuit again, and I will not accept him. The defamation lawsuit against one of our members of LTRO. You have to come up with somebody else.
Wait a minute. He didn't file any lawsuit.
What?
Dave didn't file any lawsuit.
No. Bill Pasavia had filed a defamation lawsuit against Dave Palia and 2 others who I'm not going to mention. Why will? Darren. Right? You have a lawsuit, defamation lawsuit. So, I mean, if you guys want to get into morality and ethics, let's go through the whole thing.
All I'm going to make a motion that we put...
All I'm saying is nominate somebody. I will accept somebody else for election judge on your side.
Lisa.
No, Lisa, husband is on the slate.
Wait a minute.
This is going to be like the Democrats? Come on.
So the state law says one chief judge of election. Okay, I am conceding your point by allowing you to pick somebody.
Yeah, I can't have
Who? Pick somebody. Oh, where is he at? Okay, Rich, Roselle? David, Roselle?
Rich Davis.
Rich David. Rich David.
Okay, that's fine. Everybody happy?
I'm gonna be here a long time. Again, you pass the first one.
This can really get going here.
We haven't got to that part yet, but we'll nominate, okay? Or I'll appoint him. I would like to appoint John Barbush for the caucus secretary. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Motion, do I have a second? Second. Okay, Barb Delaney, first motion. Joe Silich, seconded. Let's take a vote by voice. Who votes aye?
Can I suggest, because of the mask, we do it by hand?
Okay, we do by hand, yeah. All right, who approves the nomination of John Barbush for secretary?
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Okay, who does not approve? Okay, so the motion is approved. All right, next will be the chief judge of election. I'm making a concession. Joe Silich will be a judge of election, and we're allowing you guys to also appoint a judge. This doesn't have to be voted on. That will be Rich Davis. Okay? And there's no vote required for that. Okay, the next motion is to discuss, did everybody read the caucus rules? One thing at a time. Everybody read the caucus rules. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve them?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, a motion, and Sue Ellen is second. Okay.
I make a motion to amend the rules.
May I have discussion on the rules?
Okay, so Darren and Jim, you want to change something on the caucus rules? What do you want? What's your discussion on the rules?
You made some changes from the originals that I had.
Yes.
Can you point out the
Hey, Jim,
changes?
excuse me for a second. Can you stand up? You know, I'll pull this down, because it's hard to hear.
Yeah, you can take your mask off when you're speaking. All right.
You just made a few changes from when we were at the meeting, the committeeman meeting, and you said these are the rules.
Yes.
That Dick had. I got a copy from Dick. I see that some changes were made. Can you just point out the changes from the original rules?
Okay, one of the changes was Dick Kavanaugh, the lawyer, he wanted check-in time at 6 o'clock and end at 6:10. Whoever was in line at 6:10. And they no, because how can I restrict people to 10 minutes and when we haven't even voted on the rules yet? And Dick and Ed Ronkowski, the two lawyers, could not give me an answer that satisfied me, so I changed that. So I allowed people to be in line at 6:30. And the reason for that is because it takes a while to check in. Actually, we cut the line off at 6:30, and we had 7 minutes to spare to get everybody checked in. So does anybody have an objection about that? No. Okay, good. The other thing I changed was the rules we discussed at LTRO meeting. We were going to vote for a full slate. And I talked to Ed about that. Ed Ronkowski, an attorney, he said, "Now you better change that, vote by position, because you really don't know if you guys are going to have a full slate or the opposition is going to have a full slate." Also, by doing that, if I had some other individuals come up to me and they said, "Hey, I want one for trustee or clerk," and so that would cut them out. So this is, and like I said 3 different times, this is an open caucus. I want everybody that has a desire to run for a township position to be able to do that. If we run for a full slate only, that would cut out people. that would perhaps want to run. So I'm trying to be fair about that. Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to make a comment.
Hang on. Okay. All right, Jim, why don't you come up here for the benefit of the Zoom participants?
So we had a full slate. Some of you have it, that's not the one that was endorsed, that's a later conversation. Denise Salvino tested positive for COVID today, and she was one of our candidates, and I was hoping to amend the rules to let her participate as a candidate. And that would make our full slate, and therefore I would like to amend that we put the rules back to the original on a full slate.
We could do that, Jim, but the problem is the original rules say that to be nominated, you have to be present at the meeting.
She's on Zoom, she's present. She's on Zoom, she is present, she is on Zoom.
No, you have to physically be present at the meeting. That's what the rules say.
Spreading around.
Everybody, please.
I'll make a motion on the rules.
Well, we're having discussion. Please stop talking out of order, okay? We're having a discussion. If there's a problem, we could amend the rules. That's what we're doing here. We don't need to be hollering and screaming or anything else. Okay, we're going to do this fair and square, all civil, okay? So, but we have to take one point at a time. All right? Now,
Do you have a question or what? This is, and stand up and take your...
why don't you come up to the mic so we can hear you?
Because the Zoom meeting needs to hear what's going on.
Hold on, wait, because the internet is going in and out.
Having technical difficulties.
All right.
1 minute.
Jim, why don't you
I need you to repeat the entire event that just
All right, so
happened.
what's your point?
Mr. Chairman, on November 10th, 2020, the Illinois courts ruled in Somer versus Bloom, any person who would otherwise be entitled to participate in the caucus have the ability to attend remotely. I understand that the Lockport Township Republican Organization did put in a rule that you could attend via Zoom, but there was an expiration date on registration for the Zoom attendance. I currently have Denise Salvino on FaceTime. I also took a picture of the affidavit that we all signed when we came in, and she has signed that and she has sent that back. So I would like to make the motion to allow Denise to attend remotely.
Second.
Okay, so the original rules say to be nominated, you have to be here, present, so people can see you. Otherwise, you get people on Zoom that you don't know.
Well, we don't know anything.
So I'm going to leave that up to you. So, so the motion is to change that requirement on the caucus rule that somebody on a Zoom meeting could say, hey, I want to run for one of the positions. Now that's somebody that you have no chance to listen to on the speech, and you really don't know. You might know who she is, you might not. Okay, so do I have a motion to amend that rule? Well, let me go. Yeah.
I second it.
Rich, you have to come up here. I can't hear you. Nobody can hear you. Stand up and take your mask off.
You have a motion on the floor, it's been seconded, you've had a discussion. Robert's Rules of Order, you either have to hold the second back.
But we have to,
or you have to vote on that.
and we will, but we have to make sure everybody understands what they're voting on, okay? So what we're voting on is to change the rule that rather than a nominee be here physically, that they can be nominated on Zoom.
Can I have one thing?
I'd like to see.
All right.
I just wanted to make one point. Denise did interview in front of the Republicans. She was part of the process. The pandemic is what it is, and she tested positive today. She would have been here. So it's not like we just pulled some, sorry. It's not like we just pulled some name out. Denise went in front of the committee, Republican committee and everything, and she tested positive today. So I will let the groups decide.
Okay, but let it be noted, she did not notify me. Okay, so I found out half hour ago. Okay, so do we have a motion? Do we have a motion to change that requirement that somebody could be voted on as a nominee on Zoom rather than be physically present? All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Joe second. Okay. Let's do a hand vote. All right, how many would approve the motion to have, okay. All right, so the motion passed. All right.
That's covered.
All right. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, that's right. All right, now we need to get on with this, or we'll be here until 10 o'clock.
I have one more amendment. That pertains to safety we're talking about.
All right, for the caucus rules. Okay, what's that?
So, to continue with that, Pete had outlined some changes that he made. On the original was to vote for the full slate. We have a full slate of candidates, which is the supervisor, the clerk, highway commissioner, 4 trustees, and tax collector. That represents a full slate, so we could give the Democrats a good challenge in April. So I'm not sure if the other has a full slate, but we do, and I would like to make the amendment to the rules that Pete presented, that we can vote by slate.
I second that motion.
Okay, so what Jim is talking about is,
Made the motion, take
I made a motion.
we're not making any motions, so everybody understands.
And it was seconded. You got it.
We're not making any motions until everybody understands both sides, okay? Jim wants a motion to change the way we vote for people, rather individual positions or a whole slate.
That was second. What is the reason for that? Now we have
The reason for that is because let's say we might have a person that in the audience wants to run for township clerk. They would not be able to run individually unless you're in a full slate. So to be fair about it, the way the rules are now, we will vote on the supervisor, the clerk, the assessor, the township highway commissioner, the tax collector, and the 4 trustees. So we're voting individually because some people might not like everybody on that slate. They might like, well, I like this guy on this slate, and I like this woman on that slate. So you're eliminating that option. Just so everybody understands. The fair way to do it is you vote on each position individually, not as a whole slate. Yes.
You're making that rule yourself. The motion was asked for to amend what the instructions were. You're saying you don't like that. There was a motion and a second. Now we have a discussion. The discussion is amongst the Republican Party, not your decision.
It's not my decision. I'm explaining both sides, and then we can have a discussion. Okay? The reason. But it also calls for a discussion. Okay? Right now we're having a discussion. The rules were changed on advice of Ed Ronkowski, a Will County attorney, not by me.
But the committee didn't vote on it, did it?
We will vote on it, but I want to make sure everybody understands what they're voting on. Now we're going to have a discussion. Rich, go ahead.
Point of order, the new changes that were handed out were never voted on and never approved.
Thank you.
So it would go back to the original,
Thank you.
well, wait a minute, the original, whatever the original rules were, I'm not sure what those were, but the new rules that were handed out were never voted on and never approved.
Of course they were not voted on because they're voted on tonight. Okay?
Those were never voted on.
Right, they're voted on tonight.
And that's why we are amending them.
But we haven't, there's nothing to, what's the original, what was the original verbiage on, that was original before the new paper that was handed out? I don't know.
Okay, so, well, you can't vote until we get a motion, okay?
We have a motion.
So, all right, who has a motion to change the rule to a full slate only?
Point of order, Mr. Secretary, who made the motion to go ahead and amend it? Who made the motion to amend?
No, he did not. Well, we got another motion, all right? All right, we got a motion to amend the rules for a full slate only.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A second. Okay, let's take a vote.
All in favor? All in favor?
Run into
We'll have the judge count.
Okay, looks like the ayes have it.
How about the names?
So,
Let's see the names.
Count the days.
We ain't done names.
Don't tell me that.
We got 3 names.
Yeah, let's show a hand of them.
all right, Jim, why don't you have your full slate get up here?
That's what
All the voters?
I see.
Does that pass? The whole slate or nothing?
All right, Jim, why don't you introduce everybody here?
Darren Deskian, Alderman.
You don't need to talk.
Get in front, will you?
Darren Deskian, candidate for supervisor, current alderman in Lockport. I'll just go right down.
We'll go down this way.
Clerk, Annette Parker. Highway Commissioner, James Louch. Assessor, Tim McNally. Collector, Jessica Kennedy. Our trustees, Greg Dickus. Denise Salvino, who is on Zoom. Ken Beaton. And Mike Lewandowski. I'd like to entertain a motion to nominate a full slate that would be ready to go head-to-head with the Democrats in April by full slate.
I'll make the motion to nominate the full slate.
Second.
So we're afraid of talking. Okay.
Full slate.
Popularity contest.
All right, let's, we have a first and a second. Let's take a vote. That's him.
All in favor?
It has nothing to do with qualifications, right?
Okay.
How about all in favor?
I think we should go with qualifications.
Vote opposed.
Okay, so that is going to be our slate on the Lockport Township government.
We didn't get the vote for opposed.
Wait a minute.
What about those who are opposed?
Wait a minute. This is really, this is not. How did you get this?
Y'all have a running.
Okay, there's the slate. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Nice